welcome to my channel. I'm Gary Wuryawan and right now we are in Bali, Indonesia again. So I went here in 2021 in the month of December. Now I go back here again in a different hotel, and the purpose of this trip to Bali is just for relaxation. Photography is not the most important thing during this trip. However, I still want to try to squeeze a little bit some time to try to take some nice pictures, especially of the beach area right here. I really want to take something that is better than what I got from my previous trip to Bali. So yeah, we're going to try to find some composition right here. This is part of my everyday photography challenge, where I try to squeeze a little bit of time every day to try to make some nice pictures. You can watch the other everyday photography vlogs right here on the card above. And yeah, those are the kind of exercise that I do to try to improve my photography skill. So now let's quickly talk about gear. So these are all my camera gear, my micro four thirds camera and lenses. So I just came recently from Labuan, Bajo directly to Bali. So the gear is exactly the same. I didn't go back home at first and then go back to Bali. I went straight directly to Bali from Labuan, Bajo. So yeah, if you watch the other vlogs, the gear will be the same. If you haven't, then this is the Panasonic GX85 as my main camera for both photography and video. And this is the Panasonic 14-140mm super zoom lens for getting that wide angle and telephoto shots with just one single lens. This is my ultra wide angle lens that I really love so much. This is the Laowa 7.5mm f2. And then this is my beloved portrait lens, the Panasonic 20mm f1.7. Today in this beach area, I want to try to incorporate the 14-140 as much as I can. However, if I see some potential opportunities, then I might switch to either the Laowa or the 20mm. So now let's try to find some compositions. Alright, so this is the first composition for today. It's actually quite windy today and cloudy as well, so it's a little bit flat in terms of lighting, but I want to try to capture this sand area, this beach area. And I found some foreground of interest down here. I hope you can see on my vlogging camera, and I want to try to use these leaves right here as a sort of foreground of interest. And yeah, I'm using the 14-140 right now. I'm thinking about staying at 14mm as wide as I can. I'm at aperture priority f5.6, and I overexposed by about one stop to compensate for the dull lighting. I want to try to get it as close to what I perceive to be the best exposure as possible in camera. So now let's try to compose the picture right now. I'm going to lower the vlogging camera. I'm utilizing this tilting screen to help me to compose in lower angle. So yeah, I want to try to focus at the area right there on the beach, and then I'm raising and lowering my camera as needed to get more perfect balance between the foreground and the background. Something like this. One more. I will never stay. Alright, I think that looks really good. Let's try it one more time. Again, by lowering or raising your camera, you can adjust how much foreground is in your frame. So keep that in mind. So the main focal point will be that small building right there. So you can see on the frame over there, that will be my main focus point. Not the focus point, but the main point of interest, sort of the subject of this photograph. And yeah, I really like this picture. Tells a lot. I love the clouds behind. I think looks kind of nice. Alright, let's try one more time. Alright, so I potentially found another interesting composition. I want to try to photograph that line right there, the part of the island, and then also this little bit of pier or jetty, or I don't know what's the name of that thing. And then the beach area right there, the sand, where the sand meets the water, that kind of thing. Minimalistic landscape photograph. So I'm zooming to about 100mm, and this is the composition that I got. I will crop it later to about 16:9 or something like that to make it a little bit wider, so it fits proportionally better for this image. Alright, so f5.6, I didn't really change any setting, and something like this, very simple. Again, I'm overexposing by one stop to make up for this flat dull lighting. I'm just moving a little bit to the left or to the right. Found some rocks there, maybe I want to include that. Let's zoom out to about 60, something like this, or maybe lower the camera a little bit, something like that. All right, let's try to zoom in again. There's a person coming. I think I want to try to include that person into the frame, something like this. All right, let's wait for the perfect moment. Nice. All right, I think I found another composition. I really like that building that we photographed earlier, so I want to try to get another angle. This time it's going to be vertical. I'm thinking about between 25 to 35 millimeter. Let's try 35 first, a little bit zoomed in, a little bit more tighter. I love that there's the person right there picking up trash. By the way, guys, if you are visiting Bali, Indonesia, please take care of this place because there's so much garbage right now. It's just saddening for me to see. It's not like what it used to be. But yeah, let's try to focus on that building and try to add a little bit of these plants right here as sort of a foreground of interest. And yeah, I'm just playing with the balance between how high or how low the building right there should be to make the frame looks more interesting. Again, you can raise and lower the camera to add more foreground or less foreground, change the perspective, add a little bit more of the beach area. So this is what I really like. I get lots of lines that looks really interesting, something like this. There are some kids running right there. Maybe I want to try to include them, or maybe not. Let's wait. Let's see what happens. I think I want to include them, something like this. All right, let's try to zoom in closer at those guys. Something like this maybe. A little bit of a street photography action, and that paragliding right behind the kid just looks really nice. This is about 100 millimeter, by the way. Let's try it one more time. Always love to photograph something like that. And let's try to focus in on the building again. Now we're trying 50 millimeter, still with the foreground right here, the plants right in front of us, something like this. This is where a super zoom lens really comes into play. It really helps with this kind of composition. Now I want to try to photograph that person picking up the trash again. I think it's just something that I really love. Minimalistic composition, 140 millimeter, just a minimalist kind of street photography like that. That looks nice. All right, maybe let's try the ship on the ocean right there. Very simple, 140 millimeter. Yep, makes for a very simplistic landscape, minimalist photography, abstract almost, if you will. All right, I think I got a good vantage point right here to try to photograph the garbage person again right there on the ocean against the big ship behind it. I think this will be a really nice photograph. So 140 millimeter f5.6. I'm overexposing by about one and a half stop, maybe one stop, 1 2/3, something like this. This is what I want. All right, just makes for a nice comparison between man and machine. All right, something like this. Again, in vertical composition, I'm maxed out at 140 millimeter. Yes, that's really nice. All right, one last composition. I'm quite interested in that guy paragliding right there. I think it looks really cool. So 140 millimeter f5.6. I'm overexposing by, let's say, 2 stop right here. I'm looking at the histogram right now and I'm not clipping anything, so I'm still fine. So yeah, I'm using a little bit of the rocks there, as you can see on the camera, as sort of a foreground and framing device, and the parasailing as sort of the main object. Oh, right on time. We're waiting for somebody to walk there. Oh, makes for a nice contrast. I love it. All right. And then now just the paragliding by itself. It's getting bigger. I think it's coming closer to us. Something like this. All right. And that wraps up today's video. So that is all for today's video. I hope that today's video has been inspiring, useful and informative for you. Makes you want to go out and try to photograph something. This has always been the goal in my channel. I don't want to talk too much about gear, but I want to also practice my photography hobby. I want to go out and try to shoot something. That's been what this is all about. So I hope that this inspires you to do the same as well. So yeah, after this we're going to go back again to Yogyakarta. It's been really wonderful adventure in Labuan Bajo and in Bali. I hope you enjoyed all those vlogs. You can check out the specific playlist for the Labuan Bajo and Bali right here. And yeah, I want to end the video right here. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video and subscribing to my channel down below. And also please use the super thanks button and my affiliate links in the description below to further support my channel. Thank you and goodbye.